Have you ever stopped to think that perhaps the reality around you, exactly as it is now, is not a coincidence? That everything you are experiencing right now is, in some way, being sustained by a signal that you yourself are transmitting without even realizing it? The truth is that you are using the quantum frequency right now. In fact, it always has been. From your first thoughts of the day to the way you react to the little things in your routine. The tone of voice you use to yourself, the silent judgments you make, the emotions that rise and fall like waves. All of this is composing the symphony of your vibration. And the quantum field is listening. But here's the point that almost no one tells you. You don't need to understand physics to interact with the quantum field. You don't need to know what wave function collapse is, nor understand the details of the observer effect. You just need to know one thing. The field responds to who you are being. And that's why everyone uses the quantum frequency, every day, every hour, in every emotional micro-choice. But most people don't realize it. We live in a world that has taught us to focus on what's outside. They taught us to fight for results, to pursue goals, to control every detail. And so we became disconnected from what really creates, the internal state that sustains everything. You may not know the name of the frequency you're broadcasting now, but it has a clear signature. It vibrates in your field. It attracts people, situations, and patterns. It is felt by everything around you, even without being said. And if your reality is stuck in a repetitive cycle, if the same challenges keep coming back, if you feel like you're doing everything you can, but still don't see any change. Maybe it's not because you're doing something wrong. Maybe it's just because you're still vibrating on autopilot, using quantum frequency unintentionally. This is the blind spot of most people. They are focused on manifesting things, when in fact the universe is responding to be. You don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. And the beauty of this is that being can be regulated, chosen, realigned. Quantum frequency is not a technique. It's an embodied vibrational state, and we are all immersed in it. The question is not if you are using the quantum frequency. The question is, are you aware of what you are emitting? That's exactly what we're going to dive into. You will discover why the field responds to what you feel, not what you say, and why true changes don't start with thinking, but with vibrational integration. Prepare to remember what deep down your energy already knows. You are a field. You are frequency. You are the creator. Now it's time to remember how to create consciously. You are inside a quantum field now. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to understand it. You don't even have to know what it means technically. Yet, you are inside him, and he is listening to you. The great illusion is to think that the field only responds when you stop everything and perform a ritual, that it only works when you affirm it strongly or visualize it perfectly. But the truth is simpler and more disconcerting. The quantum field responds all the time, because you are emitting it all the time. Even now, as you read this, the field is reading you, not waiting for your 15-minute meditation. You're not waiting for your ideal vibration. It's just feeling what is vibrating now. And what you vibrate, it's not what you think. It's what your body feels when no one is looking. It's the subtle tone of your energy when you wake up and sigh before getting up. It's the shiver of anxiety you ignore, the lump in your throat you suppress, the weight you've already normalized. Most people think of frequency as something you turn on, but it isn't. Frequency is something you already are. That's why everyone is using quantum frequency, even without realizing it. And if you think you're stuck, that you're trying to manifest and can't, maybe it's because you're trying to use the field with your mind, while your body vibrates a totally different reality. The field doesn't understand promises. He understands coherence. And most of the time, what we are transmitting is a fragmented signal. Confused, unconscious, loaded with old loops, forgotten traumas, recycled fears. So you ask for a new life, but it vibrates at the same frequency it has always maintained. And the field, an exact mirror, can only return more of the same. Not because he is cruel, but because he is necessary. This is the first key. The quantum field responds to what you are now, not what you hope to become. You've been taught to believe that the more effort you put in, the closer you'll get. More focus, more repetitions, more mental energy. Work hard, persist, don't give up. But here's something no one told you. In the quantum field, excessive effort generates noise. And noise does not manifest. Noise does not create. Noise only confuses the field and collapses more of what you're trying to escape. It's disconcerting to realize this for the first time, because we have been shaped to believe that the universe is a machine, and that it responds to verbal commands and linear action. But the quantum field is not a machine. It is mirrored, it's sensitive, it's intelligent, it's responsive. And what he responds to is not your screamed desires, but the silent signals you send out all the time. You can say, "I want prosperity." You can repeat this 1,000 times a day. You can write, visualize, mentalize, and stick it on the mirror. But if inside you are vibrating with anxiety, if your breath is caught in your chest, if your actions come from a place of urgency, comparison, or fear of not having time, the field listens that. Not what you want, but what are you? And what are you now? It's what shapes what you see next. This is the quantum principle that most challenges the ego, because it reveals that there is no point in trying to control reality with brute force. You can move around a lot and still vibrate at the frequency of scarcity. You can do 1,000 things and still not collapse anything new, because the strength with which you try it is the same signal that tells the field, "I can't believe I already have it. I'm not yet. Still missing." And the field, always accurate, returns the foul. Return effort, returns more search. In the quantum world, forcing is friction, and friction repels. The energy freezes, the timeline gets tangled, reality responds with an echo, and you enter a tiring cycle, doing more to receive less. Now listen to this with an open heart. Quantum frequency is too intelligent to respond to the theater of the mind. She is waiting for the royal signal, the sign of the body, the sign of stable emotion, from calm breathing, from the silent decision that I am already the one who lives this. This is where alignment is born. When you are no longer pushing reality, it is living from within it. You don't have to prove you deserve it. No need to run to reach it. You just need to collapse the version of you that you already have. And this happens not when you try harder, but when you become more coherent. Coherence is when thought, emotion, and action move in the same direction. No noise, no contradiction. Not trying to appear one thing while feeling another. It's when you think of abundance, you feel abundance, and act with the energy of those who already have it. At this point, the field finally says, "Now I understand," and reality begins to bend. Not because you performed a complex ritual, but why did you turn the signal? Think about it. Have you ever had moments where things just flowed? Where have you attracted something without even trying? An opportunity, an encounter, an exact answer at the exact time? Do you know why it happened? Because at that moment, you were aligned. I wasn't trying to force it. It was just a present, available, true, no noise, no resistance. And that's when reality responded. Fast, clear, no drama. You don't need to deserve what you want. No need to convince the universe. You just need to align yourself, and this alignment is born from what you incarnate every day. Excessive effort is a sign that you don't trust. It is the symptom of doubt. It is the mask of control disguised as action. But the field does not respond to his efforts. It responds to your vibration. So now, breathe. Ask yourself honestly, this version of me that I'm trying to manifest, does it have to work that hard, or does she just be? The answer will show what the field is hearing from you right now. And when you learn to tune into the right vibration, the entire universe rearranges itself to keep up. You can tell the world that you are confident. You can post on social media that you are vibrating high. You can even convince your mind that everything is fine. But your body, the body never lies. The body is the speaker of the unconscious. It is he who translates into frequency what your mind tries to hide. He is the one who carries what you didn't have the time, courage, or clarity to feel. And in the quantum field, it's not what you say that matters. It's what your body conveys. Imagine you are a radio station, and the universe, a sensitive field of infinite possibilities. What the field receives from you are not your words. It is the frequency of your station. And this frequency is formed by thoughts, yes, but even more by emotions, physical sensations, posture, breathing, muscular tension, internal rhythm. Now here's the key. Your body vibrates first. Your mind interprets later. Your heart races before you realize the fear. Your chest tightens before you can rationalize the scarcity. Your breath shortens before your mind says something is wrong. And every micro-response of your nervous system is an energetic signal that the field is reading in real time. This is why you can think positive and still manifest negative. You can repeat affirmations and still feel like nothing is changing. Because as long as your mouth says, "I am prosperous," your body is contracted, your spine curved, your shoulders heavy, your body is trapped in ancient ways of survival. And the field reads this accurately. He reads your vibrational signature. It reads whether you are relaxed or on the defensive. It reads whether you are present or offline. It reads whether you are whole or faking it. Most people try to change reality from the mind, but the mind is just the tip of the iceberg. It is the body that is emitting the deepest signal. He is the one who vibrates what you lived, kept, avoided, and absorbed. He is the one who holds the unprocessed traumas, and he is the one who, often, is vibrating the opposite of what you want to manifest. You can try to collapse a new timeline, but if your body is still vibrating the old timeline, the field chooses the body. Because in the quantum game, the observer is not only conscious, it is also unconscious. It's the subconscious. It's the body. So if you don't actually feel safe, loved, deserving, no matter how much you say yes, the universe responds to the dominant vibration, and this vibration lives in the body. But here's the news that changes everything. You can train your body to transmit a new signal. You can use the body as vibrational anchor. You can breathe differently, move differently. If you play with more presence, being silent and listening to what your body is saying, without judging, without repressing, because all tension is a cry for attention, and all pain is a frequency distortion that wants to align. When you learn to regulate your system, when you learn to release stored fear, when you allow yourself to feel, really feel, you start to convey coherence. And coherence is the password that the field recognizes. It's when the body and the heart walk together. It's when there is no contradiction between what you think, feel, and vibrate. That's when you stop trying to look like someone, and it begins to be. At this point, manifestation is no longer an effort. It's a reflex. It's an answer. It is a natural consequence of his incarnate presence. So, ask yourself honestly, what is my body saying right now? What is the silent signal he has been giving out every day? Maybe he's saying he's tired, or that he is afraid, or who doesn't believe, or that it is ready, but has never been heard. Now is the time to listen, to place one hand on the chest and the other on the belly, to breathe deeply, to give your body back the confidence it lost trying to protect you. Because when the body aligns, the field opens up, and the new timeline finally finds space to become visible. You are already collapsing realities. Now, at this very moment, with every thought that emerges, with every emotion you hold, with every pattern you repeat without realizing it. The question was never, am I able to manifest? The real question is, what have I been manifesting without awareness? Because here's the big paradox. You are already co-creating your reality, but maybe you're doing it automatically, reacting instead of choosing, repeating instead of renewing, collapsing timelines based on who you were, not who you want to be. In the quantum field, everything exists as a possibility. Success and failure, abundance and scarcity, joy and fear. Everything coexists, fluctuating like waves of probability. What turns these waves into solid reality? Your focus, your sustained attention, your dominant emotion. And this happens regardless of whether you know what you're doing or not. That's why everyone uses the quantum frequency, but almost no one notices it. Because most are collapsing realities based on old emotional systems, in legacy programming, in unconscious beliefs that have never been revised. You want abundance, but you vibrate with fear. Wants love, but looks at the world expecting rejection. It wants expansion, but reacts like someone who needs to protect themselves all the time. And this is where the quantum game reveals its precision. The field doesn't give you what you want. It reflects what you vibrate. If your frequency is collapsing scarcity, he delivers more of it. If there is collapsing tension, it amplifies it. If doubt is collapsing, the field responds with more situations that test your faith. Not for punishment, but for precision. Because in the quantum field, everything that is incoherent falls apart, and everything that is coherent manifests itself. Here comes one of the most challenging truths of this journey. You may want it badly, but wanting by itself vibrates, and where there is a vibration of lack, the field collapses, more situations where you still need to conquer. Therefore, the true art of manifestation is not focusing on what you want. It is to become who already has it, and that's the turning point. You leave the field of intention and enter the field of identity. You stop chasing after the new and start making the new. You don't just wish for a better reality. You embody the version of yourself that lives in that reality. Picture this. You don't need to visualize the future as if it were far away. You need to feel it as if it were already collapsing right now, inside you. And that's when everything changes, because the field begins to mirror this new alignment fluidly. You stop trying to make the news happen, and you begin to realize that the new responds to your new vibration. That's the power of coherence. This is the moment when you understand that I don't have to wait to be who I want to be. I just need to vibrate as if it already is. But why does almost no one live like this? Because the mind was programmed to control, to prove, to wait for evidence, and then to believe. But quantum physics reveals that it is the opposite. It is the observer who collapses the evidence. You don't have to see it to believe it. You need to believe, sustain, feel, and then yes, you will see. So if your reality seems stagnant today, does not mean that the field is not working. It means it's working with absolute accuracy, returning the frequency you are holding now. And the solution is not to do more. It's about being more coherent. It's about leaving survival mode and entering creation mode. It's making peace with the now and celebrating the future as if it were the present, because he is already waiting for you. The version of you that lives in this new timeline already exists, and the field is just asking, are you ready to collapse this with your being? Most people are stuck in an invisible cycle. One energy loop is so familiar that it goes unnoticed. They wake up, breathe, move, but internally, they are already repeating old vibrational patterns. The body, conditioned by past experiences, starts the day with an infrequency of absence. The mind, trained to anticipate problems, activates alert mode, and the heart, protected by unhealed wounds, shrinks. This is the terrain where reality is built. Not what you consciously want, but no dominant emotional state that you carry without realizing it. You may have lofty plans, beautiful dreams, clear goals, but if your field is tuned into what is missing, what did not come, what always escapes, it is this frequency that the universe captures, and with absolute precision delivers more of the same. This is the fault loop. I desire something, I feel like I don't have it yet. I move based on absence, I vibrate scarcity, I receive more absence. And when this happens, the ego comes into play with more force. You need to try harder. You're not doing enough. You need to be more positive. But here's the uncomfortable truth. It's not about effort, it's about frequency. And the effort that comes from lack, in fact, reinforces the loop. You may be visualizing prosperity, but if, when you're done, you check your bank statement with fear, the field collapses fear, not vision. You can affirm love every day, but if deep down you feel unworthy, insecure, or needy, the field collapses the lack, not the affirmation. You can act, do, run, but if all of this arises from a place of distrust, urgency, or comparison, what you manifest is more urgency, more comparison, more tiredness. The good news? There is a way out. There is a different way. There is what we call cycle of conscious creation, and it begins with a subtle but profound plot point. You stop seeking and start being. You understand that what you manifest is not what you chase after, but what you already vibrate. And if you want to get out of the loop of lack, you need to stop the vibration of absence. You need to take a deep breath and ask, what would it be like to wake up already being who you have? How would this version of me move? How would she think, feel, choose? And then you enter the new cycle. I face the present with presence. I vibrate what I desire as if it already were. I act from that state. The field mirrors, reality responds. This is the vibrational shift. You are no longer asking for reality to change so you can feel something. You are feeling it now, so reality will bow to it. And that's not pretending. It's not about forcing optimism. It is to re-educate your field. It is training your body, your mind, and your emotions to remember who you really are, because the frequency of the fault is learned. But the vibration of creation is natural. She's in there, waiting for you to come back to her. And returning here does not mean arriving somewhere. It just means tune differently. Release the weight, open your heart, breathe like someone who trusts. The cycle of creation does not feed on urgency. He really eats of presence from practice. It's a gentle, yet steady walk toward your deepest alignment. It's when you stop being the one who asks, and it becomes the one who vibrates. This is the signal that the field recognizes. This is the point where the new timeline bends. Not because you deserved more, but why, for the first time, you have become the cleanest channel possible. And the field, which never sleeps, which never makes mistakes, which never judges, simply mirrors back the coherence you have finally sustained. In quantum physics, there is a fundamental concept known as the observer effect. It is the idea that the simple presence of observation can collapse a wave of possibilities into a single reality. In other words, reality is shaped according to who is looking, how they are looking, and where they are looking from. But what almost no one tells you is that the observer, it is not just your conscious self. Yes, you are collapsing realities when you say, I want a better life, I'm ready for love, I desire abundance. But at the same time, another observer within you is giving you another kind of look, what holds unhealed memories, what he learned to survive, not to create, what still vibrates fear, doubt, lack. This observer is called subconscious. And in the game of quantum manifestation, the subconscious always wins. Not because he is stronger, but because he is more constant. It's active when you're not paying attention. It vibrates while you sleep, drive, answer emails, and watch movies. He is responsible for more than 95% of your emotional choices and automatic reactions. So yes, you are manifesting with your conscious mind. But if your subconscious is still entangled with old narratives like, I am not enough, it is dangerous to trust, everything goes wrong in the end, then that's what the field is collapsing into shape. Because the field doesn't just read words, he reads total vibrational signatures. And this signature is built not only by what you think, but for who you are behind the scenes of your being. Now add to this a third, even quieter observer, your body. The body is the physical reflection of the subconscious. Every accumulated tension, every emotional addiction, every automatic gesture, it is a somatic manifestation of what you carry energetically. If your body is in defense mode, even if you claim to be at peace, the field reads defense. If your posture is withdrawn, if your breathing is shallow, if your chest is closed, the field picks up a signal of protection, not receptivity. So now think, how many signals are being transmitted by you without your awareness? How many realities are being collapsed from a place you didn't even know existed? This is why so many people do everything right on the surface, but still lives by the same standards. Because you are trying to change reality with your conscious mind, while the subconscious is collapsing the opposite, and the body is vibrating the frequency of the past. And the field does not judge. He just mirrors. The good news? You can realign the observer. You can re-educate the subconscious. It can re-inform the body. You can train your internal frequency to become coherent. And when the observer becomes whole, conscious, subconscious, and body vibrating the same signal, reality bends. Fast, clearly, without resistance. This is the real quantum hack. It is not repeating mantras or visualizing until exhaustion. It is living, feeling, breathing, and moving like someone who is already in the desired timeline. But to do that, you need to stop using just your head and begin to engage your entire being. Because what manifests is not what you think, it is what you sustain with your deepest energy. And deep energy doesn't lie. Don't improvise. Don't pretend. It just vibrates what is truest in you. Therefore, the first step is not to rush to do it right. It is to stop and observe. Who is watching my life right now? Is it my present self, my wounded self, my conditioned self, or my conscious, integrated, regulated, whole self? This question is not theoretical. She changes everything, because the observer creates, and when you change the observer, you change the collapse. And when the collapse changes, reality changes with it. If the quantum field were a language, it would only have one grammar, a single syntactic structure. I wouldn't hear words. I wouldn't interpret promises. He would not be seduced by extraordinary mental visualizations or fervently repeated phrases. The field reads coherence, and that's it. Coherence is what transforms the invisible into the visible. It is the exact point where intention, emotion, and action, they are no longer separate pieces and become a single vibrational signal. You can think about success, but feel like a failure and act out of fear. The field receives a fragmented signal, confused, noise. You can repeat, "I am prosperous," but feel anxious about spending and makes decisions based on fear of loss. The field receives a signal of scarcity, and it mirrors scarcity back. This is the point where thousands of people get lost. They align mentally, but forget emotionally. They talk about the future, but they move from the past. They want to collapse a new timeline, but they carry in their bodies the vibrational signature of the old one. And the field, always honest, always accurate, returns, inconsistent, not ready yet, unstable signal. Here's the game-changing truth. Consistency does not require perfection. She demands integration. You don't have to always be vibrating high, but you need to learn how to return to the center, realizing when he left himself. To observe, without judgment, when you are thinking one thing, feeling another, and doing a third, and then recalibrate. Because what the field expects is not for you to play a spiritual character, but may you be truthful enough to sustain a clear, if imperfect, signal. Think of an old radio. If you want to listen to a station, there's no point in being almost on the right frequency. Any small deviation creates squeaking. You hear parts of the music, but with interference. Sometimes the melody appears, then disappears. You feel the proximity, but you never access the full sound. This is what happens when you are almost coherent. The field captures pieces of your intention, but the signal is unstable. And because of this, the demonstration is distorted, delayed, confused. Almost, but not quite. Now when you reach total coherence, even if only for a moment, the field understands. This signal is ready. This field is clear. This vibration is stable. And then the wave collapses. Reality is formed. The timeline reveals itself. This is the moment where the miracle happens. But it's not a miracle. It's physics. Coherence is the key to quantum manifestation because it unifies all layers of being. She makes your thought don't just be intention, but a reflection of your feelings and your act. That's when you no longer need to convince the field because you became what you wanted to convey. This doesn't mean you'll never lose your balance again. It means you will know how to return. And this ability to return is what defines masters of manifestation. So the big question is not, what do I need to do to manifest? But yes, is my signal coherent? Is what I'm thinking right now aligned with how I'm feeling? Is what I am feeling present in my actions? If the answer is yes, even for 1 minute, this 1 minute has more creative force than a month of misaligned action, because the field does not read the amount of effort. He reads frequency quality. Therefore, practice this state as a silent devotion. When waking up, when deciding, when talking, when reacting, observe yourself with presence. Align yourself with compassion. And remember, consistency is not about rigidity. It's about vibrational integrity. The moment you think what you feel, feels what acts, act like who you already are, and breathe like someone who already has, the field responds. Not because you asked harder, but why, finally, you have become the request itself. Most people treat manifestation as a project, like something you do for a while, a morning ritual, an isolated technique, an exercise in focus amidst chaos. But the quantum frequency is not a moment of your day. She is your state, a living, continuous field that is formed with each gesture, each decision, each choice of gaze. And here's the most common mistake: wanting deep results with superficial presence, expecting miracles from a body still conditioned by fear, visualizing freedom but living trapped in the same emotional patterns. Claim faith but act as if you distrust the process. Therefore, the true practice of manifestation is not a sequence of steps. She is a return, repeated, loving, daily sustained, a kind of vibrational devotion, not in the religious sense, but in the sacred sense, in the sense of commitment to the version of you that already lives the timeline you desire. Because look, frequency is not built on the extraordinary. It consolidates itself in the ordinary done with conscience. The moment you breathe and observe yourself, in the pause before reacting, in the way you wake up, eat, move, talk, feel. Everything vibrates. Everything communicates with the field. And if you want a new reality, you need to create a new vibration, sustained, not by effort, but by internal conviction. For remembering your frequency. It's a choice you renew, not a chance you wait for. And this choice to become firm needs to stop being a task, need to become a relationship. Relationship with your state, relationship with your energy, relationship with your own coherence. You don't build a strong relationship by visiting someone once a week. You build with daily presence, with listening, with adjustments, with small demonstrations. So it is with the field. He's not expecting you to meditate for 40 minutes and then go back to autopilot. He is listening to what you vibrate when you're not trying. And this is the part that changes everything. Who you are when you are not manifesting also manifests. Therefore, practice should not be seen as a formula, but how to harvest, an energetic gardening, where you nurture your frequency like someone caring for a seed that needs warmth, attention, and time. The daily question is no longer, how do I get what I want? And it becomes, how do I honor the version of me that already has this? This is the point where you understand that vibration is not a button you press. It's a field that breathes, a state that can be trained, a frequency that returns as many times as necessary, with love, with gentleness, with firmness. You don't have to get it right every time. You need to always remember, because the field doesn't demand perfection, but he opens up when he feels presence. Presence in what you feel, in what you live, in what you face with truth. So try reversing the focus. Stop looking for what to do and start asking, who am I being while I do it? And in that being, you begin to cultivate a new frequency. And at that frequency, the field finds a new mirror. And in that mirror, the new timeline reveals itself. Frequency is vibrational fidelity, and loyalty is proven in everyday life. In the way you get up in the morning, in the breath with which you start the day, in the posture with which you position yourself before the world. So treat this alignment as something intimate, like someone tending a sacred fire, an inner temple where every thought, every emotion, and every gesture counts, not for fear of making mistakes, but out of respect for what is being born in you. You don't manifest to get things. You manifest because you are ready to become the space where these things make sense, where they have a place to land, where reality can arrive and find a frequency that already vibrates like it. This is living practice. This is coherence in motion. That's its vibrational devotion. And on this path, you don't just attract, you still. You support, you become. You don't have to be perfect to manifest. It doesn't have to be 100% positive, 100% safe, 100% elevated all the time. This idea that only when everything is aligned and clear will you be able to co-create your new reality is more a prison of the spiritualized ego than a quantum truth, because the quantum field does not expect your perfection. He waits for your coherence. Coherence is when what you feel, think, and do are in harmony, even if temporarily, even if with flaws, even if fluctuating. Coherence is when you are where you are, but with presence, intention, and truth. See, the field is not judging your mistakes. It's not punishing your negative thoughts. He is also not testing your faith, nor demanding that you be enlightened. He just responds, with mathematical precision, the frequency real that you are supporting. And this frequency is not made up of your mental performance. She is made of your energy availability. You can be afraid and still vibrate coherence. You may be feeling insecure, but you're moving with intention, and that's coherent. You may be in doubt, but act with care and truth, and the field recognizes this. Because consistency is not about perfection. It's about emotional integration. It's when you stop pretending to be okay and start regulating yourself with compassion. It's when you embrace the oscillation without falling into the drama of self-sabotage. It's when you honor your process without lying to yourself. The field reads authenticity. The field mirrors vibrational honesty. And if you are whole in what you feel, even if it is not the ideal state, this can still be a strong, clear, potent signal. Now stop for a second and ask yourself, how many times have I stopped believing I could manifest because I was feeling bad? How many times have I felt like I failed just because my vibration wavered? This is the trauma of spiritual perfection. The illusion that to create your reality, you need to be vibrating high all the time. But that is not spirituality. This is masked rigidity. It's lighting control disguised as lighting. In fact, what brings you closer to manifestation is precisely emotional flexibility. The ability to fall and return, of doubting and choosing to trust anyway, to lose your balance and breathe back into your center. This constant feedback is what sustains your frequency. No, because it never wavers. But why does not abandon itself when it wavers? This constancy in presence, more than constancy in high vibration, is what creates energetic stability. And stability is what the field understands as, now I can mirror something solid back. Because think about it, if your vibration changes all the time, depending on your mood, the field reads mixed signals. And the reflection it gives back is also mixed, confused, fragmented. But if you swing, feel, breathe, and come back, you are saying, I may move, but my intention remains firm. I know myself, I listen to myself, I realign myself. This is energy sovereignty. This is vibrational mastery. That's human beings co-creating with the field, not trying to dominate it. So please let go of the idea that you need to be flawless. Let go of the belief that you vibrated wrongly, thought negatively, or withdrew too much. These are myths of the over-controlling mind. The field is not impressed by pretty phrases, but he bows before your felt truth. And if today your truth is, I'm feeling tired, but I still choose to trust, this is coherence. If your truth is, I'm scared, but I keep moving with intention, this is coherence. If your truth is, I don't have all the answers, but I know who I'm choosing to become, this is coherence. And this coherence is more powerful than any technique, because when you live with truth, its frequency becomes a magnetic field, and the universe responds no with judgment, but with recognition. He sees you, the field feels you, and when you feel yourself honestly, the collapse of the new timeline happens naturally. Not because you have mastered the art of manifestation, but why you stopped pretending. And in the absence of a mask, true presence can finally be mirrored. We have reached the most essential point of this entire journey, the conclusion that is not final, but a return to the origin. Because in the end, the quantum field is not out there. He's here, now, in you. You are the field. You are the vibration you emit. You are the observer who collapses. You are the very wave of possibility that forms when you become conscious. And that's where it all begins and ends, in who you are being. Manifestation is not a technique. It is a natural consequence of your internal state. You are not trying to manipulate an external energy, like someone asking something of a higher system and hoping it will be granted. You are all the time interacting with yourself. Because the field is not a something. He is the living environment of your own consciousness. And when you change, he changes. When you focus, it responds. When you feel, he listens. Everything you see outside of you is a mirror of the frequencies you have already emitted. The synchronicities, the patterns, the repetitions, the portals that open or that seem closed are accurate reflections of the energy you hold from moment to moment. And that's not a metaphor, it's physics. Every conscious thought, every unconscious impulse, every emotional micro-choice you make emits a frequency, and that frequency shapes your field, and your field shapes your reality. So the question you take away from here is no longer, how do I manifest? But yes, how can I now be the version of myself that already lives what I desire? And it's not about pretending, nor of staging a spiritual persona. It is about embodying the sign. Vibrate the being. Breathe in the now as if you were already in the chosen timeline. You no longer need to search for frequency. You just need to remember that you are the frequency, and that changes everything. Because you stop chasing realities and begins to collapse the field around him with presence. Truly, with vibrational constancy. This is the real twist. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. And being is something that is renewed at every moment. So breathe now. Feel yourself. Understand yourself. This moment contains all the power of the universe. Here where you are, with everything you feel, with everything you believe in, with everything you remember, and with everything you choose to forget. Because the moment you become a conscious observer of your frequency, you open the door for the field to respond. And he will answer. Not with magic, but with alignment. The right people start to appear, ideas flow, coincidences become confirmations, and reality ceases to be something to be controlled, to become something you dance with. You are the creator in the creation. You are the energy in the form. You are the question and the answer. And most of all, you are the channel through which the new enters the world. The new timeline won't find you when you're ready. She arrives when you are coherent, and you will be, because now you know, now you feel it, now you remember. There is no going back to living on autopilot once you understand that the field is alive within you. It is no longer possible to treat vibration as a theory when you recognize that every choice vibrates, every emotion vibrates, every silence vibrates. You are not just a transmitter. You are the specter itself, the pure frequency that creates form. And every time you return to that center, even for a second, you are consciously recreating the universe.